The Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, was first formed in 2007, but its origins go back to 2004. The idea began after the Indian Ocean tsunami, when the US, India, Japan, and Australia worked together on disaster relief. Then, in 2007, Japanese PM Shinzo Abe proposed formalizing this cooperation into a strategic forum. The first official Quad meeting took place in May 2007 on the sidelines of the ASEAN Regional Forum in Manila. Later, from 2008 till 2016, the Quad became dormant after Australia withdrew, partly due to Chinese objections and domestic politics. However, in 2017, the grouping was revived, with officials from all four countries meeting again in Manila. And from 2020 onwards, the Quad was elevated to ministerial and later leaders' summits. The first ever Leaders' Summit was held virtually in March 2021. The Quad keeps a check on the Chinese incursions in the South China Sea jointly between United States, Japan, Australia, and India. Geopolitics may have taken this Quad to a full circle back on the drawing board. Let's look into the specific reasons since May 2025. Reason number 1. Trump announced a slew of measures on tariffs for a whole host of nations, which has alienated friends including Australia, Japan, and India. Reason number 2. India's unwillingness to accept that Trump intervened to stop the war between India and Pakistan, two nuclear nations based on trade. Reason number 3. India's reluctance to give Trump the recommendation for a Nobel Peace Prize, while Pakistan easily proposing this in the state visit of Asim Munir to United States. Reason number 4. Trump's perceived closeness to Pakistan with a proposed oil deal and the crypto bets. Reason number 5. India not picking up Trump's calls ending the Trump-Modi bonhomie, as per German press. Reason number 6. Off course, Trump not confirming India travel plans proposed during the Feb 2025 Modi U.S. visit to India. Reason number 7. Japan's chief trade negotiator, Ryosei Akazawa, canceled his U.S. visit aimed at formalizing details of the investment package, pointing to unresolved implementation issues, particularly around tariff adjustments. Reason number 8. A Nippon.com poll, August 8th, revealed that nearly 70% of Japanese feel relations with the U.S. have worsened under Trump's second term, and over 40% favor Japan taking a more independent stance. Now let's look at reason 9 till 12. Reason number 9. August 2025 saw intense friction and negotiation in U.S.-Japan economic ties, marked by a high-stakes investment for tariffs deal struggling to take formal shape amid public unease. Reason number 10. Beijing's warning on AUKUS. A China Daily editorial urged Australia to abandon its AUKUS partnership, arguing the pact increases regional tension and undermines economic cooperation. Reason number 11. Diplomatic engagement and economic reset between Australia and China. Australian Prime Minister Albanese's official trip to China in July 2025 yielded a reaffirmation of the comprehensive strategic partnership, pledges to uphold multilateral norms, UN, WTO, G, and plans to expand diplomatic and economic dialogues, including a CHAFTA review. They also agreed on climate, agriculture, law enforcement, education, and tourism cooperation. Reason number 12. A trade thaw is now gaining traction. China resumed imports of Australian agricultural products, most notably giving mainland-grown apples access from 2026, expanded sheep and goat meat exports, and fully lifting past bans on rock lobster, beef, wine, and barley. Albanese's visit also featured engagement with major Australian firms, e.g., BHP Rio Tinto, to explore green iron ore supply chains and joint ventures in clean energy sectors. The Ukraine war has clearly demonstrated that Ukraine completely miscalculated American positions since Feb 2025. The war-ravaged nation counted on the United States to keep funding the war, which now appears like a bygone Biden era. Public humiliation and garbs, a few rare earths and minerals deals aside, Ukraine is clearly ill-positioned in a losing battle, Vis a vis Russia, America will supply arms and ammunition and firepower and the javelins only to NATO for cash, who in turn supply to Ukraine. This strategy of United States has come as a rude shock to all who continue to be dependent on American defense supplies. Pay up for your defense, and that too to only United States, seems to be the mantra of the Trump administration to catapult the United States from their economic woes, along with the now infamous tariff war. What's important to note is that United States has successfully alienated the world from itself. Back to Quad. Given this background, we are left with a lot of unanswered queries. What happens to the Quad Summit? Will India host the Quad Summit? What does it mean to the Indo-Pacific? What happens to incursions by Chinese in Philippines waters and the South China Sea going forward? Can any country count on United States for defense and protection? Should Japan be worried on defense matters vis-a-vis China and North Korea and a potentially transactional United States? More importantly, what happens to Taiwan? Does a clash of personalities add perceived bullying mean doomsday for years of defense and security strategy? Is everything transactional and nothing strategic? Well, given the above, let's hope someone in the Trump administration takes note and stands up firmly to state the obvious. The question is, who has the guts?